Alrighty, here we are in Lesson 3, Greatest Common Factor in GCF, which is simplifying fractions. Okay, so the greatest common factor, remember greatest means the biggest, common means what they share, and then a factor, remember a factor, you should probably write yourself a note. A factor is something you use, it's like something that multiplies to be a number. So multiplies to make a number. Okay, so if we were going to list out the factors here, we're going to look at 3 and 6. So the factors of 3 are 1 and 3 only. The factors of 6, let's see, well we have 1 times 6, and then we have 2 times 3. So we're looking for the greatest common factor, so the biggest one that they share. If we look here, 3 would be our GCF. Right, if we look at 8 and 12 here, if we list out the factors of 8, let's see, we have 1 and 8, and then we have 4 and 2. And then for 12, we have 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and then 3 and 4. So if we're looking for the biggest one that they share, that would be 4. So our GCF would be 4. Now 16 and 40, I don't want to list out all of the factors, so I'll pick the smaller number and I can list out the factors of 16. So we have 1 and 16, we have 2 and 8, and then we have 4 and 4. So now we're looking to see what numbers go into 40. We're not sure if 16 goes into 40, and it doesn't. So the next biggest number is 8, and 8 does go into 40. 8 times 5 gives us 40. So our GCF would be 8. Okay, so now we're going to use that GCF to simplify proper fractions, mixed numbers, and improper fractions. Okay, and there's 2 hints that I want you to write down. We'll start with 1. So remember, even numbers. Remember, an even number ends in 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. Alright, these are always divisible by 2. Okay, so we're going to start with that one, and that is going to help us out here. If we look at 14, or not 14, 12 20ths, and we're thinking about the GCF, we should hopefully be able to see that they are both divisible by 4. So if we divide them both by 4, 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 20 divided by 4 is 5, so that would be our simplified fraction. Okay, now if we look at number 5 here, we have 7 and 15 25ths. So my other hint that I want you to write down is numbers, I'm going to put the number sign, numbers ending in 0 or 5 are divisible by 5 always. So don't remember that, because here that helps us. We have 15 and 25. We should know right away that those are both divisible by 5 because they end in 5. So our whole number stays the same. So we end up with 7. 15 divided by 5 is 3. 25 divided by 5 is 5. So 7 and 3/5. Here I have 2 and 6 42nds. 42 is divisible by 6, so we can divide both of these by 6. So we end up with 2 and 1/7. Then for the last one here, 14 21st. Let's see, what multiplies to make 14? We've got 1, 2, 7, and 14. And 7 goes into both of those numbers, so we can divide them both by 7. 14 divided by 7 is 2. And 21 divided by 7 is 3, so we would have 2/3. Alright, now down here we're simplifying improper fractions. It's the same idea. Okay, I don't need you to make them mixed numbers, we're just trying to simplify them. So 34 and 20, well, they're both even numbers, so let's try our trick from up above. So if we divide them both by 2, see 34 divided by 2 is 17, and 20 divided by 2 is 10. And it's always a good place to start with. And now we look and see 17 and 10. Well, 17 is a prime number. It's not divisible by anything but 1 in itself. So 17 tenths would be our final answer. I have 18 sixteenths here, again both even, so let's try dividing by 2 to start with. 18 divided by 2 is 9. 16 divided by 2 is 8. When we check and see 9 and 8, that's as far as we can go. So it's 9/8. 17/8, again I have that number 17. That's a prime number, so this is in simplified form. And then my last one, 12/6. So we should hopefully be able to see that we can divide them both by 6. So I get 2/1, which is the same thing as 2. Okay, so that's all we're going to do in the video. We'll do some more practice in class all together tomorrow.